Alright, you guys. I got my head strap on. We about to make this shit work. So now we're in the process of just pretty much doing the springs. Ooh, you almost didn't want to come out. So now that we got that out the way, I got my bucket for parts and bolts. I may not even be using that right now. Just go ahead and use this baggie. This one right here. So just go ahead and take all of these out. So you take all the washers, take everything out with it. Got my other clutch basket right here. So yeah, pretty much just remove the springs. Just pretty much it should be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 springs. These are the stock springs, but we're gonna keep these pieces right here. So next thing, let's go ahead and unravel this right here. This is my original clutch basket that I was working with. I just pulled it apart when I ended up pulling my motor apart. But pretty much I just did the same thing, put everything back together. Like I said, I'm probably not gonna be using too much of these pieces. You know, I prefer the newer motor, but I do have an extra clutch basket, so we're gonna go ahead and take these off. Put the better springs on, because these are the race springs right here. Oops, excuse me. As you see, we just got extra bolts. But the condition, they're not too bad. So I'll probably just go ahead and just swap them all out. Keep those for something else. Keep all the performance springs right here. Yeah, I have a little light. Should be 6 of them as well. I'm gonna use everything from my new parts. It's nice and all, but it's better to just use the original parts. So this is the original clutch basket. Just flip that upside down. Go ahead and pretty much move all of the components that you're not going to use. So, this is technically what your clutch basket look like, people. Just a thing. Got all that hooked up to that bolt, but I'll show you eventually once I get it. Series of washers, series of bolts. Ain't nothing too tough. Let's go ahead and fix this angle. My hand might get in the way. We pretty much can start from backwards. There's a couple things in here that has a couple springs, but figure all of that out. Now it's a nice plastic bag or something, depending on where you're working at. Oops. Hopefully, you know, you don't mess nothing up. You know, if you got a nice little floor or something, you know, I just prefer you guys do this in the garage. It's cool. You ready? So first thing we pull off is the first. These are good clutches. So let's see if we can identify. So this is the new one. Here's my original one. It's a little more burnt up than the original one, but hey. So I'm replacing all this shit. So put all the old parts to the side. Don't want to mix them up with the new ones. First things first. What I like to do is go ahead and take, okay, that stuff out of it. Take that, we're gonna put that on there. Starting from the back. Pull all the clutches. You know, that came with it, so pull all the clutches out. Still probably missing a few, but I'm keeping that. Just double check apart. Okay, cool. So all my clutches are out. It would be best, so y'all gonna look at my garage a little bit, but it would be best to go ahead and get some oil. You know, I thought my clutches were soaked. You always want to soak your clutches in oil. So starting from the back, you gotta go. This is the process for the 650R, 636, and a 600RR for the Kawasaki models. This should work for 2006 to about 2020. Nothing doesn't change. Nothing changes too much. So we take the first clutch plate. It's a little dry. So, no, they should always have oil on them, but you know, that's why you let your bike warm up. It's always best to soak them, but these have been sitting in oil for some time, so I don't think it's a biggie. Flat surface first, so it's always a clutch plate, which is these Kevlar plates. It doesn't necessarily matter which way they go, but go ahead and just put one on. So pay attention, because this bike came with two rings. After you put the second clutch in, second clutch plate, you got to put these rings in. Take your other plate and you sit it in there. Just line it up as much as you can. Whoops. And then you take another one. Like I said, it doesn't matter which way it goes. Ooh. So this right here, I want to say it's your throw, but don't believe me right just now. But just make sure you don't lose any of these pieces. So mine has a spacer, a spring, and then we have the actual, that pulls the plate apart and engages it. That much I can tell you. Just keep on doing it. Don't be too forceful, just go ahead and, whoops. You'll fit in there eventually. Almost there. And you can't do this without changing the oil. You don't have to change the oil for this. Just make sure your bike is on the side stand, leaned over far enough. I literally have a piece of wood on my side stand, so I don't have to deal with too much oil. And remember what I did with that other one? I just went ahead and sat it right here. Go ahead and take that off. And sit you on right there, baby. The main plate that covers everything. You have some bearings in here. If you can't see them, some bearings in there, so make sure that they're in there. Make sure that you just double check all your work before you put this whole clutch together, or you have to pull it apart. Make sure everything lines up. Do what you gotta do. You know, a torque wrench would work, would be best, but you know, these impacts and the torque is so light, you know, just make sure that they're pretty tight. Oh, but what I'm gonna do is, since I didn't lube up any clutch plates, what I will do is let's go ahead and just douse a little bit of oil on them. These clutches are specifically designed for non-synthetic, so I gotta run regular oil. I can't run no synthetics. I can't run semi-synthetic. It's just straight oil. Start from the top. May drip a little bit, but hey, I just put a little bit on there. Just enough to soak, just enough to soak. Wipe up the excess, because it will leak. But hey man, you want your clutches to work right, you gotta make sure they get lubed right. I know, excuse me. I used to soak my clutches for damn near a whole day, but that's really not necessary. So pretty much take everything, put it to the side, whatever you're not using, whatever you're using, however that goes. So I just clean my area up a little bit. You know, my foot getting a little numb. Ouch.